Hey everybody, welcome to another RCT2 review. We continue our series going through the head-to-head 10 parks with the second park in round 2 and match number 1. This is Cirque Macabre. This is by Six Frags at 45% share, RWE at 35%, or 30%, Belgian Guy at 15%, and Babar Tapie 2 in a row now at 10% for his share. So pretty impressive stuff here on this one. This is our first horror map, I think. I don't usually see this theme too often, but look at it. It's pretty neat. There's a lot of cool details in this one, so let's check it out. So starting off, we got this great kind of crumbly bridge that you come across, and you have this pretty awesome marquee here with the letters and the little tent 2D stuff on top of. Pretty neat. I like how the palette makes all the guests' skin kind of like this washed out gray. It's kind of almost bluish look, I guess. We got this guy here who's trying to escape, says I've got to get away from here on his little barge. By the way, you maybe couldn't hear it when we first started the video, but there was an intro by Lord Charlatan, and it's pretty cool, so you should listen to that and download the park if you get a chance. So coming on in, we've got this great like witch's brew thing here with the bubbling smoke and everything, and then this is great, the juggler right here. And if we pause it and click on what he is juggling, it's actually, oh no, not on that one, it is, here we go, it is the Peep Head custom tracked vehicle. So that's kind of a fun little detail though, juggling some heads. But as we walk in, we get a very textured path, which is occasionally a little hard to follow, but still I think it's okay. And it has that nice kind of gritty, grimy look to it. Got a condor here, you know, my favorite type of flat ride that I tend to do in every one of my parks, so can't fault that. And then we also have the organ wagon here, and there's a guillotine going on right here. But these wagons are really great. I love the detail on these just in general. A nice slide here as well. Got some really cool sculptures all around. So this is the freak show here as you go through all the different parts and pieces of that. There's a slingshot ride here if we spin around called Heart Attack, just right here. This is a tilt-a-whirl inside called the Tilted Whirler. It's got a kind of fun little diagonal face going on here. Floating kind of witch object as well. More of the wagons. They're actually all over, and what I like about them is they're all fairly different. Like there's similarities to each one, but they're all reasonably interesting on their own right. Got the Haunted Mansion ghost band here playing. Kind of fun. I love the knife thrower here with the spinning wall behind this guy who's not yet stabbed, but maybe will be. Also some of the nice touches with the pathway as it gets kind of red around the tilted whirl here. Got our carousel, grand carousel here in the middle with a very nice, very kind of traditional covering. Feels, I don't know, very appropriate for this kind of a circus feel. And let's talk foliage while we're looking at this. I actually really kind of love this tree here, and just sort of the sort of reserved nature of the landscaping. It could have gone with a lot more kind of wooded feel, and maybe, you know, back here we get a little denser through the whole thing. But I actually really like this kind of scraggly tree growing up and these weeds coming up here and there through the whole thing. Actually, that looks really nice. Spinning around on this one, we've got this big scoop here with what I assume maybe are brains. I'm not entirely sure, but it's fun. And chainsaw here as well with the blood dripping off of it. So that's pretty cool detail there. The sculptural stuff is really great just in general, and so always good to see that sort of thing, mostly because I just can't do it at all. Cool big mansion back here with the hat and the rabbit coming out of the hat. I'm not entirely sure what's meant to be in the mansion, but regardless, it's a pretty cool building. Ferris wheel is neat with the spider on here. We've got it called Arachnophobia, so a little bit of Diamond Heights referencing there, but fits the Fear of Spiders theme, which I always do like that that design, and especially the web on here. It just looks really nice, very neatly put together. I think this is an ice cream cone here, so ice cream shop with this nice kind of old Victorian-esque looking building with the tower and everything. Let's take a look at the coaster, because the coaster is pretty neat here. First of all, giant tent. It's a really big tent that's maybe a little bit hard to follow sometimes, but we got this really cool skull out in the front of it with this kind of cloak around the thing, which I think is pretty neat. And then we're going to spin around to, actually, let's go, we'll go start here. So we've got this cool pre-lift section with this arch and all these kind of thickened, growing weeds and landscaping and stuff. Love the olive green look for the palette as well. We got this little bit here, and this is pretty cool. Oh, maybe. Oh, there we go. We just missed it. But going here over top of the this section of guests, looking in the area, so it's like I guess part of the performance part of this. Let's wait for the next train, and while we do that, we can look at the lift or slash launch, I guess, which is right here in this big cannon, really cool sculpture thing. And behind it, we've got this crazy looking skull skeleton rockwork thing with this blue flame. Not necessarily apparent what it's meant to be, but anyway, it's pretty cool. So let's pick up the coaster here, launch into this big loop, the loop on top, in case you forgot. One of my favorite bits here is this sign for Bone Shaker. I think it's incredible. Really, really well done. The layout here looks actually pretty good. It's kind of more of a traditional wooden coaster feel to it. I would actually really kind of like how the layout is. It's probably a bit too fast. I mean, it's definitely a bit too fast, but at the same time, I do kind of really like how it forms the back of the park and kind of nestles the whole park into it. Also the diagonal brake run, which is always nice to see the new pieces being used. Over on this side, beyond our chainsaw, we've got the kind of demented tunnel of love, I guess, with the swan boats. That's kind of a fun touch. It's a cool sign around here so we can see a little better. So swan sign, love the heart, a portal here. This is kind of a nice little touch here where it comes out, does the tight corner, and goes right back in. Pretty cleanly done, actually, for the whole thing. And we get a little bit of a look inside here with the dome on top that's getting kind of overtaken by all these weeds throughout. Over on this side, we've got a giant tent, absolutely huge tent. So this is kind of the main circus area, dripping down into this pool of guts and things, I guess. This is a fun little balloon stand here with the wheels and what looks to be a little skull right there. And then more of these carts. I think I like the 2x1 sizing better than the 3x1. I feel like it's a little bit more clean on here. Here's a lion or tiger or something kind of trapped in there as a display. So inside here we've got a couple different things, and if you go invisible we can kind of see what they are. So we have Act 1, which is skeleton horses, and then Act 2 here is this guy in the cannon coming out, and then Act 3 is up here. It's a trail rope sling and walk, so that goes back and forth across the whole thing. Which is pretty cool, I feel like. It's a nice touch. I like the hanging bits and pieces of the tent here. Fun having it kind of coming apart on the whole thing and just feeling a little bit scraggly. Got a little bit of back of house stage going on here as well. I'll spin around to the last bit of the park itself, which actually, let's look at these games too with this like saw blade here. Actually really cool. Just in general, very nice sculptural stuff, which I'm always a big fan of. We don't think I saw the curved stairs in this one yet, which is always a surprise. So this may be the first park that doesn't have them, but we do have the stalls as ride vehicles, which is pretty standard fare now. I love this jumping thing coming out of the grave. Cool. And then we have this big dark ride here. So this is Lord Charlaton's Haunted Manor. Maybe a little bit out of scale from the rest because it is gigantic, but it's pretty darn cool. We've got the birds flying overhead, feeling pretty ominous as far as the vibe goes. We're using Rumi's vehicles here, which can rotate, which I always kind of like, the Haunted Mansion cars. That we've got a little bit of rotation to it. It's a cutaway here, so we can see that there's some show scenes going on. It's not fully fleshed out inside, so I won't do cutaway, but you can at least see some stuff. I like this rising vapor kind of going on here behind these glass windows. Underneath is kind of this cool rockwork cave going on, hanging skeleton here and some other parts and pieces that are pretty cool. But as we go around the back of this, there's just a lot of kind of fun little details. There's this crash train. There's this kind of creepy vine going on that's growing up on things. There's this whole horde of what I assume is zombies climbing up the side of this coaster. So that could be an issue here. This cross that's on fire and these buildings that are overgrown. There's this thing in a cave. There's more things in the cave, piranhas over here that are clickable, more hanging creatures, and just a lot of skeletons and just kind of cool landscaping in general on the whole thing. So it's actually a really detailed landscape map that doesn't necessarily look like it might be initially, but there's a lot to pay attention to as far as the landscaping goes. But lots of cool stuff in this one. The horror vibe, kind of hard to pull off in the game, I think, and in general, I think this is one of the better ways to do horror with the circus theme, and just pull it off really well. Six Frags did a It-themed 4D coaster years and years ago, so it kind of is funny to see him do this as well, but always nice to see some veteran builders take on some stuff like this, which ends up looking really, really nice. If you want to download this park, and you absolutely should, not only to hear the initial audio monologue, but also to just look at all the rest of the details, then you should definitely download it. You can find a link to it in the description below. You will need to open RCT2 to view this. I'll provide a link to that as well. This one did win out between this one and Sambajo's Rest that we looked at last go around. Close match, but you know, this one ended up being victorious. But I think both parks are pretty spectacular. Hopefully, you will agree as well. We'll be back next time with round 2 and match number 2, and we'll see 2 more really great parks. Until next time, thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day. Bye now.